President of the People's Republic of China, the Order of South Africa, President Xi Jinping shall henceforth be honored as an esteemed member of our national orders here in South Africa.
How Africa got a seat at the G20. Hello everyone, welcome to New World Affairs. In today's video, we look at the just-ended G20 summit in New Delhi, India, and what it means for the future. Not only that, but the African Union has now been made a permanent member. The African Union now has the same status as the European Union. Leaders from across Africa welcomed the move. The Prime Minister of India proposed in June that it would give the continent a voice. Until that, South Africa was the only African country to be part of the G20. But what does it mean for Africa and the new world that is emerging? The African continent is a union of 55 countries with 1.4 billion people, generating a combined GDP of $3 trillion. A continent that has always been in the shadows with no voice on a global scale now gets a seat with 20 of the leading world economies. The BRICS summit recently ended in South Africa, and 2 African nations will officially be joining the bloc, which already has South Africa as one of its members. BRICS is a group of world emerging economies that now account for 40% of the global GDP. The West has been dominating the global economy historically, but with the emerging economies of Africa and Asia. Is Western hegemony on the decline? Every country wants its voice heard on a global scale, but with the West having dominated the political and economic scene for centuries, we are gradually seeing a shift in global dominance. The economic weight of BRICS is certainly considerable. Between 2003 and 2022, the growth of the 5 countries accounted for 50% of the expansion of the world GDP. In terms of purchasing power parity, BRICS GDP today already exceeds that of the US or EU. To give an idea of the pace of growth in these countries, in 2003, the BRICS accounted for 9% of the global aggregate GDP. In 2009, this figure increased to 14%. In 2014, it increased to 25%. Until 2006, BRICS were not gathered with a mechanism that allowed their articulation. The concept expresses the existence of 5 individual countries that have characteristics which allow them to be grouped together, but not as a mechanism. That changed at the meeting of foreign ministers of the 61st General Assembly of the UN in 2006. This was a first step for Brazil, Russia, India, and China to begin working collectively. It can then be said that in parallel to the concept BRICS, a group came into existence that began to act in the international scene. In 2011, after South Africa's entry, the mechanism became BRICS. The theme for the 15th summit of BRICS, held in August this year, was BRICS and Africa, Partnership for Mutually Accelerated Growth, Sustainable Development, and Inclusive Multilateralism. As South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa said, "We want to use this opportunity to advance the interest of our continent, and we will therefore, through BRICS summits, be having an outreach process or moment where we will invite other African countries to come and be part of the BRICS, because we do want BRICS in whatever BRICS does to focus on helping to develop our continent." At the very least, the statement of South African President suggests that the AU will be increasingly active in building ties with BRICS. BRICS are making effort to reduce the usage of the US dollar in the international market. They are promoting the use of the local currencies internationally. They also aim to develop a BRICS-backed currency. A BRICS currency would be a serious threat to the dollar. The expansion of the BRICS grouping could determine the speed with which the bloc adopts commercial and financial systems outside of the dollar sphere. There has been a drop in the dollar's share of central banks' foreign exchange reserves, but dollar usage has held up very well in commerce, private assets, debt issuance, and generally on the global foreign exchange market. Among the potential dollar challengers, the euro may seem like a runner-up, but its dominance is seen only in Europe. Looking at the BRICS, China's amplification of renminbi swap lines seems to have helped promote the use of its currency in trade and international reserves, and Russia's geopolitical aversion to the dollar gave Chinese yuan an additional boost. But China's capital controls and low issuance of panda bonds remains an obstacle. Africa's inclusion is being witnessed both in the G20 and the BRICS. Many Western countries remain guarded about the possibility of BRICS becoming a new center of power. Europe's strategy is clearly to extend invitation, play it cool, and emphasize that its door is always opened to all new BRICS. Member German Foreign Minister spoke strongly in favor of cooperating with new members of this group of important emerging economies. A new dawn is here, and a new global power is also here that has the purpose of working to break Western hegemony and not monopolize power and dominance. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe for more videos.